everybody, welcome back to Daytime. Dr. Guy Bahar is back from the Posture Clinic. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Good to see you again.
Give me this one, that one's stronger. Jacqueline is getting her colitis fixed right now. So you and I are going, and which is, you know, I do all the shoveling in my house. This works out perfectly. We're talking about the proper ways to shovel to keep our back in line. What are some of the mistakes people make before they even shovel the driveway, when they're just getting ready to go?
Well, the key thing is people have to be aware of some of the risk factors that are going on right now. We're going to get pummeled this year. We got spared last year. Yep. People are not used to shoveling. So if you're a smoker, if you're overweight, if you've been sedentary, if you have any heart conditions, you have to consider, is this something you're going to take on? Because it's going to be really rigorous. So you may want to have somebody else do it for you.
Okay, fair enough. And now, should we stretch? It's sort of like working out, right? We should probably stretch before we go.
Like, I mean, the average snowfall that we're getting right now, the snow, every time you scoop it up, is going to be about 25 pounds. It's equivalent of working out.
That's unbelievable.
Heavy all the time. So, yeah, you have to work out. The key things you're going to be using are your arms, your lower back, and your legs. So you want to do basic warm-ups for those. You start off with like your usual hugs. You pull your arms side to side, some basic marching.
My sweater's really tight, so it's hard to do.
Knee to chest. We want to do the reverse of our forward posture stretches, so a lot of back extensions, that kind of thing like that. You want to have about 2 or 3 minutes of movement before you get started, and make sure you're dressed in lots of layers.
Because you know that's not what we do, though. We just wake up, we run down, we're like, we got to get the snow out.
Exactly. And imagine going into a gym, and the first thing you do is start curling 35, 40-pound weights without any warm-ups and all that. Dumb. You're going to pull things.
So this is the shovel I have at home, exact same one. So what kind of shovel is this, and what are we doing wrong with it?
Actually, this one's actually not too bad.
Okay.
I brought several just to show you the difference between good and bad.
Okay, so this one's okay?
This is good because the blade itself isn't too big. It's light because it's plastic. And as I said, you want to make sure the size of it is appropriate for you.
Okay, because there are different lengths available.
There's different lengths. So obviously, this is for the kids, but imagine what would happen if you were using something that was too small.
I've seen people do that. Do you know that?
You hunch over too much, and again, you're putting extra stress on the back by having it in the wrong position.
Okay, so walk me through this, because usually what I do, and you show me if I'm doing it right or wrong, is if this is my driveway, I walk up, I do this push. I get in this position.
Okay, simple tips. Okay, like you want to do the best possible way. The ergonomic ones are the best one to go. The bent stick. Why? Because you're already having the angle mimic the same position over here.
Okay.
I don't have to bend forward. It's already in position. Now, tip number 1.
Please.
Don't have to lift. Move. Walk with it. Get right to the end. Push it wherever possible before even having to lift that first blade. You want to basically be in a position where you don't have to lift as minimal as possible. So pushing is always better than lifting. Never be in a situation where you're throwing off to the side. So you always want to be in front of the load. You don't want to have to be throwing it over your back. No twisting, no turning, because it's the same thing as lifting weights and twisting, that sort of thing.
Okay, so, and then let me ask you about my throat, because I was doing the push, lift, and go.
You walk to the edge of where you want to be. Always take it as close to the side as you are. Keep the shovel as closest to the body, okay? Because as I said, the load is closest to the body. Knees bent, pull your stomach in when you go, and simply go forward.
Let's do it right here to camera 1 so they can get a good shot. So literally you just push all the way up.
Knees bent, pull your stomach in, back straight, and push.
Lovely.
As much as possible.
Okay, so the other shovel, is this a good or bad shovel here?
This is the reason why we show this, why it's bad. The old standard metal ones. Is first, as I say, you always want...
This one looks a little old, Dr. Guy Bahar.
It looks old. First off, the reason is they warp very badly. Okay. The blades tend to be very big. And because it's metal, it wears unevenly, and the snow sticks to it. Okay, so another quick tip you can do to sort of minimize having the load is to spray it with like a silicone gel. You spray with a silicone gel, it's going to slide off much easier.
What about the shovels? Because I mean, there's this type of shovel, and then there's the much larger spoon type shovel, and then just sort of like a regular shovel. Which shovel should we be using?
You've got to always size it according to your size. So the bigger the blade, the more heavier it's going to be. Now, if you're young and you're healthy, it's an amazing form of exercise. I mean, the Surgeon General is equating 15 minutes of shoveling to meeting your cardio workouts. Okay, so if you're going to do this thing properly and you're young and healthy, you can get a good workout out of it. So obviously you want the size of the blade to mimic as close as possible what your capacities are. Keep in mind the stamina factor, because if you're going to have a huge snowstorm and you're dealing with like a foot of snow that you're going to have to do, it's going to be double what you did when it was half that much.
What about when we get torticollis? Torticollis. I mean, what are some of the things that we should be aware of when shoveling? Is there a kink that we should sort of acknowledge, or?
Yeah, you have to, the first and foremost thing is pay attention to the pain. If you're hurting, stop, okay? I've got 5 kids. That's what the little shovel's for. Let them do it.
Let them go do it.
Okay, first and foremost. I mean, if you're hurting, don't do it, because the likelihood is you're going to tear things. But the other most important thing is if you're feeling stiff, it's first thing in the morning, you got to do it. Make sure your body's warmed up, dress in layers, because exposure to the cold is going to reinforce that torticollis. You're going to perspire by doing the actual movement over and over. The cold air on the moist skin is going to cause the fibers to tighten up even more, and you turn suddenly, and now you've got more muscle tearing, and the whole problem reinforces itself.
So I've used a shovel that is far too big for me. I've lifted too much snow. My back is destroyed. What happens when I go to visit you at the posture clinic?
Okay, the first thing you want to do, as I said, if you're going to be getting back pain from irregular activity, is we want to work out the kinks. Just like we were talking about before, you want to find where those trigger points are, you want to work them out. And in some cases, if we've thrown our alignment out, then the first thing we've got to do is straighten out the alignment. So that's where our adjustments come in handy. But I mean, long-term proper techniques and working on structural correction over time, we're not going to have any problems this season. Yeah, most people set a New Year's resolution of going back to the gym or doing something like that. Maybe a New Year's resolution should be going to visit you and getting that back aligned. How do you sort of feel when your back is proper? I mean, not like that. As I said, you're going to see, I mean, Jacqueline was already commenting about feeling a little cloudy, concentration being affected. I mean, when all your attention units are focusing on pain, it's very difficult to sort of focus on things that you're trying to get done, because your attention units, your nervous system is all dealing with managing limited range of motion. When you have full range of motion, you get good sleep techniques and proper body mechanics. It affects so many other areas of your bodies, from your concentration to your immune system to your breathing to your organ function. It's all connected, right? Go to the website for more information, postureclinic.ca. We'll be right back with Linda Mowdy in the kitchen. We are cooking up a whole lot of things with nuts. We'll be right back.
In the 1800s, incontinence was a forbidden topic. Incontinence is the uncontrolled release of bodily fluids. Today, it is still a taboo. Over 3 million Canadians experience urinary incontinence. Thousands live with bowel incontinence. It affects one's dignity, is one of the reasons our elderly are placed in homes. It's common with children and those with disabilities. It can be managed and often cured. You can take control by seeking medical help and visiting the Canadian Continence Foundation website.
I'm John Royce, and this is On the Money. Just the word budget makes most people cringe. However, if you are one of those who've been impacted by the downturn in the economy, having a budget and a plan on how you and your family will get by is going to be critical. The purpose of the budget is to organize and control your money so you can meet your financial obligations. Gathering all the necessary information, such as monthly income, monthly fixed, and variable costs, is where you should start. Then put it down on paper, and don't worry about it being perfect. You can fine-tune it along the way. Some of the best ways to reduce your monthly cash burn is to leave your credit cards and debit cards at home. Avoid dining out and fast food lunches. That can add up to hundreds of dollars a month. The toughest for most people is trimming costs by deciding between needs and wants. Changing your spending habits is no easy task, but can be very empowering and rewarding. That's On the Money. I'm John Royce.